Welcome to another exciting episode of Double D's Let's Talk About It, the podcast that gives you your NFL and sports news. I am your host, Damien, with our host, Davion. What's going on of D's Corner?
What's going on, bro? What's going on? Let's jump
Going on,
in.
man? We're gonna jump in. It's time to tap in. Today we're gonna do that mock draft today, 2024. We're only gonna touch on the first round with no trades, but we are gonna go extensive and exclusive with this first round. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring up this information here, bro. We kick in. We're gonna go on and start and enter this draft now. And as we see, we got the Bears with the first pick. You are doing odd. I am doing the even teams. So we're gonna go ahead and get it cranking up. And we're gonna start it off. Who you got? You the Bears. So who you taking?
So you already know they just traded Justin Fields, Caleb Williams. That's the pick.
Caleb Williams is the pick.
Caleb Williams.
All right, so we're gonna go with that. The Bears draft Caleb Williams with the first round pick out of USC. We're gonna move on to number 2, Washington, also in need of a quarterback. I'm gonna say they go a different route. They're gonna go quarterback, but I think they're gonna go with May. I think they take Drake
All
May
right.
with the second pick in the draft.
All right.
We
All
move to the
right.
Patriots.
Now
Another one with the quarterback. What you got?
they also need a quarterback. And I know we're
Yeah.
not doing trades, but we just talked about this. This here, I think, would be the Vikings coming up to get Jaden Daniels. LSU
Okay.
boy, putting the LSU boy with LSU boy like they did in Cincy. But since we're doing no trades,
Uh-huh.
I'm going Marvin Harrison Jr.
Whoa, you shock of the
I'm going
draft.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Shock of the draft.
I
Wow.
believe I believe, and we've talked about on other videos
Mm-hmm.
that Robert Kraft is going to give Gerard Mayo the full tenure to team up. And right now, if you drop Jaden Daniels in there, they don't have a lot of weapons. They still have a ton
Mm-hmm.
of money to spend. I'm going Marvin Harrison Jr. Jacoby
Wow.
Brissett. Jacoby Brissett can be a bridge quarterback.
You threw me for a loop there, man.
Yeah,
Because
I
the
definitely
Cardinals
think.
are stuck.
Yeah, and it's gonna make Jaden Daniels slide.
Yeah, he's gonna slide, which is interesting. Uh, well, the Cardinals needed wide receiver primarily.
They
The
do.
obvious pick was Marvin Harrison, but he went a pick ahead. So I'm looking at what's on the board now, and I don't want to necessarily draft Roma Duzier that high now. So another
Mhm.
need is D tackle, cornerback, offensive guard, and edge. Mm, mm-mm. You got me there, man. You
And they
threw
don't
me
have
for
no
a loop.
weapons right now.
They
They don't have
don't.
no weapons right now.
So I mean, do they take? I'm wondering, do they take the best available in that situation for weapons? I mean, I guess I'm taking neighbors then. I mean, you by
All
default
right.
they got to take neighbors with that pick.
Yeah.
They got screwed up right there. They probably or they would. I logically think they would trade back if that was to really happen. They probably just man, we're gonna just
Yeah.
trade back.
I- The Vikings are coming up. I believe they're coming up. They poised themselves to get that second first round pick this year to come up and get a quarterback. So, all right. So you got Malik Neighbors, right? I got the Chargers. We don't have any weapons. We don't have a running back. We don't have a tight end. We don't have wide receivers. Do I think Roma Dunzier can come in and be that guy instantly? I don't know. But I know Brock Bowers can. I know Brock Bowers can. They're gonna come in, they're gonna want to try to run this ball. And when Harbaugh was with the 49ers, he had a tight end like Vernon Davis. So I'm going Brock Bowers. I can't hear you, bro. I can see your lips moving, but I can't hear you. You muted now.
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Okay, you can hear me now. I just took my mic out. We'll go off of there. We're
Okay.
sorry and we apologize for the technical difficulties on my end, but hey, we ain't gonna let it stop the show.
It happens.
Interesting here. With this pick, I'm looking at the needs, and it's obvious that I'm going Joe Alt. Tough guy, Notre Dame, need left tackle, fits the bill. They still got some problems with the offensive line. Obvious pick. So we're moving on to Tennessee.
Well, now if I'm Tennessee and this, I'm a new coach. I know they got Levis. I know they drafted Willis. I'm not passing up on Jaden Daniels.
No, you cannot do that.
I'm going Jaden Daniels.
2 years in a row.
I'm going Jaden Daniels. I'm going. Listen. But free agent. See Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley. They still have DeAndre Hopkins. This is a brand new coach. Will Levis played last year. Also know that there's teams that are in need of quarterback. Right now, Will Levis's draft capital or his worth, I'm sure, is way more than Mac Jones and Justin Fields was. I'm going Jaden Daniels, man. I'm going Jaden Daniels. Wow. I thought you was going to take him in New York.
No. Because of the situations that they have with Daniel Jones, I wouldn't think that they would want to add that on there right there. And they need offensive tackle immediately. So you try to build the team around them. That's what I was thinking. And if they hadn't had Burns, then I would have probably drafted defense, but I went offensive line again.
Right.
So Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels.
So that goes to the Falcons. I already know right here. Easy pick. I'm looking at edge. I'm going Jared Verse. Number 8 to the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
Yeah. So we move on to the Bears again.
Yeah. Now, we just drafted our young quarterback. Mm-hmm. We've already really built up around him. He's got Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Gerald Everett, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift, decent offensive line, and this is a deep draft of offensive line. Mm-hmm. But it is not that deep when it comes to to edge. And I want Dallas Turner opposite Montez Sweat.
Oh, wow. Good. Dallas Turner.
I want Dallas Turner.
Then we move on to the Jets. Team needs wide receiver OT. You know what? With that pick, I already lost my quarterback for a year. I know I need to address that offensive line. I'm going to go ahead and throw in Penn State guy, Fashanu, tackle.
All right.
Penn State.
All right. There's got to be a quarterback.
Yep, we already know who it
quarterback. Is. I'm going JJ McCarthy.
Exactly.
JJ McCarthy.
All right, and leaves the Broncos. Also need a quarterback. Are they willing to reach this high? See, logically, I'm thinking, man, they're gonna trade back and just try to get picks. I don't want to take this quarterback pick this high. But you kind of put in a position where you have to. I don't think this many first-round quarterbacks is going, though. But for the sake of need, they're going to reach.
This will be the fifth one.
I'm reaching in this situation. Huh? I'm reaching with Bo Nix.
Bo Nix?
Yeah, that's a reach. For me, I wouldn't do it, but because all the other quarterbacks off the board that you would figure first round, I'm gonna have to reach. So it leaves the Raiders next at 13.
I am going Fuaga. I'm going Fuaga. I'm gonna build up that offensive line.
Okay.
I think they're gonna let AP come in and do the same thing. Mayo. Let him build the team.
Okay. So that leaves the Saints next with primary needs all across the offensive line at guard and at tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And because you already moved, I believe most of the projected first round tackles are out of the draft now. They also need edge, D tackle, and quarterback. So I'm curious to think, no, you got to prioritize offensive line over it. So I'm taking the kid from Washington, Troy Fautanu. So that's another tackle
All right.
off the board.
Now, this I'm not expecting the draft to fall this way to us because we could definitely use Rome Odunze. Definitely use him. But we re-signed a lot of our players. But we still have an issue and a need in our secondary. So I am going Quinyon Mitchell.
You going Quinyon?
Quinyon Mitchell. He's a good zone corner, can read the ball. We run a lot of zone. He can man up outside with Juju and let Kenny play the slot.
Okay. Well, with Seattle, with their obvious need on the offensive line, the first center to come off the board right here, Jackson Powers Johnson. It's a need, and they addressed it. And we move on to the Jaguars, who can go anywhere from cornerback,
really go anywhere, yeah.
Wide receiver, D tackle, O tackle, O guard.
I'm gonna go Terrion Arnold out of Alabama.
You going Terrion Arnold?
Yeah, they lost Darius Williams. You need somebody to pair up with Tyson Campbell. I'm gonna go Terrion Arnold.
So we got the Bengals on the board. D tackle, O tackle, wide receiver, corner, and offensive guard. I'm looking at the D tackle.
Especially if they trade Higgins.
Yeah, they could get more picks off of that. They need D tackle, but I don't think the D tackles on the board they would want to go for over priority, whether offensive tackle or wide receiver. But I see a third need is cornerback. I'm taking the best cornerback on the board in this situation. That's Nate Wiggins.
Okay. That's 3 corners in a row.
Yeah.
Oh, no, 2 in a row.
We're moving on to LA. Obvious need here.
Well, yeah, you just lost Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
You just lost Aaron Donald.
So you know that changes their whole priority.
I know they need edge. Latu is good. You can use offensive. You can use offensive line. But Aaron Donald was a smaller defensive tackle. I think they like that. I think they see some of this kid in him. I'm gonna go Brian Murphy. Out of Texas.
Surprise. All right, We got Pittsburgh's on the clock. You just got Russ. You traded for Justin Fields. You've added some pieces. Then who'd you draw? The linebacker. You brought in
Patrick Queen.
Queen at linebacker. Your needs are all tackle, center, corner, wide receiver, and safety. I'm saying they go offensive line here. And we really just going O-line all over the place. Center and tackle is a need. With that pick, I'm going to Maris Mims, Georgia.
All right.
Kind of surprising here.
Yeah.
We move on to Miami.
I'm going offensive line too. I don't expect this guy to fall like this, but if he does, J.C. Latham, get you somebody to help protect Tua. They lost a lot of O-line this off season. Oh, you get to pick for your boys.
Oh my gosh, the rich gets richer. mean, seriously, the rich gets richer here. Their number one need says cornerback, linebacker, safety, wide receiver, and edge. Man, they pretty much got their own choice of whatever. I'm looking at defense. They just signed Chauncey Gardner. Did they let Darius Slay still there, right?
Darius Slay still there. Bradbury still there. Keely Ringo still there.
I don't know if I'm gonna go corner primarily. Ain't no linebacker going first round right now. Ooh boy. Edge is a third need in the 3-4 defense.
But
I'm going Latu.
That's what I was looking at. That's my God, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at.
If he's there, yeah. That's crazy. Then we get to the Vikings, 23rd pick.
So we just went JJ. We got Justin Jefferson. You got Addison.
The quarterback, D tackle, guard, corner, and wide receiver. I mean, the quarterbacks on the board. You can let them slide down unless you reach and you take the last one.
I already took JJ McCarthy.
That's right. That's right. We did pick him. I'm sorry. I'm forgetting.
I took their
JJ
with the first pick.
What'd you say?
It would, but I think here we just lost Danielle Hunter. We did bring in some other edge help. Harrison Smith is getting older. I'm gonna go Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. He can play anywhere in the secondary.
Okay.
He can play anywhere in the secondary.
Oh boy. And
here we go. All in right here, baby.
All in. I'm gonna do what they ain't gonna do. We need D tackle. We need offensive center. We need offensive tackle. Woo! The best tackle. Yep. I'm gonna go chalk, man, because a lot of the mock drafts I've seen says they take this guy. I don't want to take him. You know what? I don't have to. I'm gonna go defense. To be honest with you, I'm going defense.
Okay.
I'm going to continue to address the position of need first. Leverage. I'm interested in Newton out of Illinois because you need to continue to build that defense up.
Johnny Newton.
We got Green Bay next at 25.
Goodness gracious. Green Bay can do whatever they want to because they're so young everywhere. I'm gonna go Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go Kool-Aid
right there. Now, this is interesting. Edge, corner, offensive center, guard, and wide receiver. The best player on the board is Rome.
Rome, yeah.
I'm taking Rome in that situation.
Rome. I like it. I like it. I like it.
Then we go with 27. That's the Cardinals.
You already took Malik Neighbors earlier.
Yeah. They also need an edge.
I almost want to double down at receiver with Brian Thomas there, but I'm gonna go Chop Robinson.
With defense. I would have went there myself, or I probably would have went with D tackle. What's the D tackle they got there? They could probably take a Shavonte Sweat, or something like that. But you said, who'd you say again?
Chop Robinson.
Chop Robinson. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we get into Buffalo. I already know this is obvious right here for me, where they go. Easy. Brian Thomas Jr. You need weapons. You just lost Gabe Davis. You got some. You don't know what's going on with Diggs. That's where you go.
Yeah.
Got the Lions at 29.
They did pick up some corners. Let's see. They need some edge, wide receiver. I don't really think wide receiver is an actual need. Guard. They did lose a starting guard.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of in a position to pick whatever you want, really. I'm gonna go Graham Barton out of Duke. Played tackle at Duke, gonna be a guard in the league.
Okay.
Graham Barton.
All right, where is he at? He's listed as a guard. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. We got the Ravens. They got King Henry. They got Flowers. They just lost Patrick Queen, but they already got their linebacker. They set there. I just believe that they're gonna go with what they do, and that's defense.
Okay.
Let's see. I think they go defense. Let's see. But you know what? I'm gonna throw them for a loop. Keon Coleman to add more to that offense.
Oh, okay. Big
Big
body
body
for
wide
him too.
receiver. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't got that. They don't got the big guy.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Got San Francisco.
Well, San Fran, with him being there, you know Trent Williams is getting up there in age.
Uh-huh.
Tyler Guyton's right there, another huge guy. Play tackle. And that's where we're gonna go. We're gonna go Tyler Guyton.
Tyler Guyton. All right, I got Kansas City.
The last and final pick.
Rich gets richer.
Yes, they do.
You know what? With the rich get richer, I already know where they go. I mean, they can go anywhere. Do they go? A key need is the tackle position because they perform well in the playoffs. But does that guarantee that they're going to be consistent? And is that a turning of the corner? I say no. I say they take Kingsley Suamata out of BYU. And that does conclude the first round.
Yes, sir. Right. So you can look at
what we got going here.
If you click full results, it'll pull up everything.
Okay. Where are we at? Full results. I'm trying to find
right there in auto up top. Just scroll straight up. Down. Right above the icons. Right above the Dolphins icon.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm blind. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a little blind there, man.
That's it.
I'm kind of in the dark.
First mock draft.
First mock draft, man. First mock draft. Man, that's interesting, though. You threw me for a loop with that Patriots taking Marvin Harrison. That shook up the whole draft. I think because it would have been a little bit more.
Right.
If that draft doesn't happen, if that pick. That's crazy. And then you killed me with Tennessee taking Jaden Daniels because I'm sitting here thinking he will end up falling to the Raiders or the Vikings, I mean. Because if he's there for the Vikings and then the Raiders will probably end up taking, or the Broncos take McCarthy. So that shook everything up right there.
Well, I definitely feel like it's going to be some trades. It's going to be some trades. So the next one we do, we can actually try to do trades and stuff if you want. We can keep it the same way. But we actually, let's switch it. You'll do odd and I'll do even the next go. And then we can do trades the third
and
one or whatever. We're gonna play around with it. Yeah, we're gonna play around with it. We can go second up to the second, however you want to do it. But we can even sit and discuss this now based off how it is.
Yeah, we can. That's what we're doing. I'm like, okay, I know I surprised by taking Drake May. That's just because I just look at him being I think he'll be a fit because I'm looking at what Dan Quinn did in Atlanta with Matt Ryan.
Right.
I know they had Shanahan and OC at the time, but I don't think he necessarily wants a Daniels in that position. So that's why I took Drake May. Drake May is a little bit more of your typical prototype quarterback. as he's mobile
Bigger
enough
body.
in the pocket. He can get out, big body, and he can make the throws. So that's why I looked at Washington taking that pick, since Caleb is not there. Caleb would have put butts in the seats, but I think Drake may have given them a little more substance.
I definitely think if it falls that way, go ahead. My bad.
No. Go ahead.
If it falls that way, I definitely feel like the Vikings are coming up to go get Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, we want to make sure any of you watching, this is just opinionated.
Right.
It's because we didn't include trades. We didn't include a lot of some reason is out the door for both of us. So it's logically based off of no trades, no issues there. Because if, like you said, being 100, if Marvin Harrison was gone at that position, I would honestly think the Cardinals trade back. I think a team like Minnesota could use those 2 first-round picks to move up higher, like you said, to get up higher, to get a better prospect at quarterback. So that makes sense. Tennessee, I don't think Jaden Daniels would be there. I think he'd be off the board before he gets to Tennessee.
Right, and if he fell to Tennessee with Brock Bowers being off the board, I could definitely see the Raiders coming up to get him.
Yeah, trying to jump. It's going to be, I believe, honestly, to be a fight between Minnesota and the Raiders to get one of those 3, the third quarterback on the board, which typically either it's going to be May or Daniels, one of the 2. And then I do think, honestly, Bo Nix is not the 12th pick. I think J.J. McCarthy off of merit would end up in Denver in that situation. Some of the other picks, I like the Quinion Mitchell pick for the Cardinals, but if you get Ladarius Sneed, that could change some things with that
Absolutely.
pick.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I've seen conflicting reports. I've seen them say that they were in talks about it. Then I saw Adam Scheffler on I want to say he was on the Pat McAfee show that said no, they haven't had those talks. Doesn't mean that they couldn't have them, but Quinion Mitchell, I think he has skyrocketed up the boards from Senior Bowl to combine performance, and he's a 4.33 corner, nice size, willing tackler, but he plays in that zone. Man, him, Juju with Kenny in the slot. I definitely like that. The pick that I like is yeah. He's a good system fit. He's a need and a system fit.
Yeah.
He's a need fit. So, but I like the Latu or Liatu.
Yeah, you like that? Yeah, that I mean, I would be definitely angry. I took Newton because I just looked at interior, and I'm not necessarily trusting and knowing of Guy. I don't think he had the best combine performance. Then you look at his film, he's solid. I mean, Oklahoma tackle, solid, but I just don't know. I'm like, of the tackles, because all the best tackles are off the board now. So I would have took a tackle there. I could have took Zach Frazier, but I was like, well, I'm looking at, we got to be able to stop the run.
Right.
We got to figure this out. So that's why I made the pick of Newton at that spot. And also because I didn't necessarily trust Sweat. I don't know if he's going to have weight problems. Logically, you're going to take him. If I'm Jerry Jones, and you know how Jerry Jones drafts, he's going to take the Texas kid, most likely, or the Arkansas kid, because that's how he does. So I would have took Newton.
Yeah.
I took Newton, but logically he would probably take Sweat. But my concern, if I'm a GM, is Sweat's his weight and being at 365 and being able to control that weight and his consistency at that position. It's like, okay, we just drafted Mazza Smith over again. I'm not doing that.
Right. You would have 2 big bodies.
Yeah. 2 big bodies that can get moved because they can't get enough push early on because their first step, their initial step is not explosive. Yeah.
Right.
And then Byron Murphy's off. Go ahead.
The Keon Coleman was what I was gonna say. That was the one that threw me, but it fits because he's that big outside threat.
That's what I was looking at.
Yeah. I like that. I like that pick.
And the only reason I didn't draft him a couple of spots higher is because Roman Duzier was still on the board. for a fact, Tampa has already brought Keon in for a visit.
Oh,
So they've already
but
interviewed him and stuff.
and you let him get groomed behind Mike Evans.
Yeah,
Let him get
exactly.
groomed behind Mike Evans. He might not be the fastest wide receiver in the draft, but Keon Coleman is. He's got the size. He can do those contested balls, and Mike Evans would be a good mentor for a player like him.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, he'll turn around in our situation as a good mentor for Rome. Rome is also 6'3",
Right.
215. So
Right.
yeah. So that makes
And
sense.
the Kingsley one as well. I think with the addition of Hollywood, you don't necessarily have to go Xavier Worthy now because Hollywood can get down that field too. So
man, you thinking like I was thinking without even saying it, because before I made that pick, I was looking at either AD Mitchell or Worthy, and I'm like, they don't have to reach. They don't have to reach. They can find him in the second round.
Right.
I would try to shore up that offensive line. That's what I did. The Latham pick for Miami, I'm curious to that one. I don't know.
Well, they lost all their offensive linemen.
Huh?
They lost all their offensive linemen.
You're right. I'm thinking more interior though than to take the tackle first. That's what at that point I think you get a better prospect in the interior than going tackle. Because is Latham Latham is a right tackle, right?
Yeah, he's a right tackle.
Yeah, that's like Mims too. Mims most likely gonna project as a right tackle in the league.
Yeah.
So when I drafted him in Pittsburgh, I was like, I don't know, but he'll fit with what they want to do. Pound the ball.
And he pairs with Broderick Johnson from last year from Georgia.
Yeah.
So you got two Georgia tackles. So
yeah.
That's good.
This one here, because you took Quinyon.
The Nate Wiggins. My bad.
No, I was saying because Quinyon is off the board, was the first one taken. I was surprised because I thought you was going to go Wiggins to Jacksonville. That's why I took him in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Best player on the board.
I just think he's light. He's 170 something. But the Bengals make sense because DJ Turner was 170 something and ran a 4.2 last year and they drafted him. They lost Chidobe Awuzie, so that's a good pickup. That's a good pickup there.
Yeah.
I think for what Jacksonville wants to do defensively, as well as the Colts, I think those two corners can be interchangeable to those two teams. I think both of them will need corner. Both of Terrian and Quinyon, both can find the ball. They're both physical. I just gave a nod to Quinyon because he's faster and he's more zone for what we want to do.
Okay.
So,
can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Yeah, I went back to my mic to my headset instead of the cam mic. But I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's just our mock draft. We had some interesting things here. What you think about me with Seattle taking interior, going with Jackson Powers Johnson?
Makes sense. They won't run the ball.
Yeah.
They got their tackles. They got their tackles, and I could see with we took Fatanu and Fuaga, the two earlier. I could see them going one of those two as a guard.
Yeah.
Or Powers Johnson. So that was good. I was wondering if he was going to fall to your Cowboys.
Powers Johnson.
Powers Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah. I would take him. You know what? That's what I brought up Zach Frazier's name for, because he would be the second center on the board. So it was really hard for me to pick between Sweat, Newton, and Frazier. Those were the three names I was throwing out there by what was remaining on the board. But if he was there, he would definitely be priority pick, first one for the Cowboys, even more than the defensive tackle, because he would have been the best player remaining on the board at that pick, other than Rome. But if you're talking about interior, he would have fit. But go ahead, man.
How many wide receivers went? One,
shoot, we got.
I was just counting how many wide receivers we took.
Yeah. maybe 6, like 5.
Five
5. Brian Thomas, Roma Dunzier, Keon Coleman, Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison. Yeah,
and
those are the
what? Five
receivers that are
and
getting.
five quarterbacks.
And 5 quarterbacks went in the first round.
And I
And
honestly don't think Bo's gonna be a first round pick.
no, I don't either.
I don't
But
believe he'll be a
that's what I
first
was
round
saying. I
pick.
say Denver. That's why I said Denver's going to reach. That was a reaching position because would you take the best available? Logically, if that was scenarios really happen, I would have just traded back. That's why I said I would have just traded back then. Look, let me just move back, get some more picks. I would have looked. I would have looked at. Actually, I would have looked at a team uh, like where they at? Who has all those extra picks?
The
Trying to
Cardinals.
remember. The Cardinals. Yep, the Cardinals. I would have seen if they wanted to move back, move up. That way, they're not taking Chop Robinson there.
Right.
They're taking they probably end up with Fuga or Fatanu at tackle because they needed offensive line too. They needed
They could
Quinyon
trade up there.
Mitchell.
I'm about to
Yeah.
say they could trade up and go Quinyon Mitchell.
Yep, Quinyon Mitchell would have been there. I mean, their options would have
So
been Byron Murphy. You see what I'm saying? Their options would have
yeah.
been galore. They would have just had more options. That makes
And
sense.
if it goes this way, obviously this is just us fooling around with it
Yeah.
or whatever. But
Yeah.
if it were to fall this way, now the Broncos can trade back. They can go Will Levis with a later pick, accumulate you some picks, and go to a later pick
Yeah.
and get you a player like Will Levis who's had some playing time, who gives you a
Mhm.
rookie, gives you somebody who can play, opposed to because I don't believe that at 12 you're gonna want to take the fourth best quarterback, the fourth or fifth best
Is
quarterback.
is he the fourth best though? Because I just thought about it. If I could do a redo, I wouldn't take him before I took Michael
Penix.
Penix. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. But I
I
see. I
mean, I
think
probably
I don't. I think Penix. Go ahead.
no, you good. You good.
I was saying I think Penix is better, but I think
Mhm.
he'll fall to the second round because of the health related things.
Yeah. Yeah. There was some reasoning
So
behind why I did that too.
yeah,
That's why I did it. His health questions. He'll probably end up being like a second round still. Who knows? Penix could be at least at the minimum the second best quarterback. Better the second best end up being the second best quarterback on the board. I
right.
mean, if you look at his ability to throw, the only one that actually makes the throws better than him is May. For pure passing talent, in my opinion, it's May.
I,
That's the only other
yeah,
quarterback.
I like
Caleb,
Jaden Daniels.
yeah,
I like Daniels. I like Daniels as Daniels is a good thrower. I do like I think the ball just jumps out of Penix's hand.
yeah,
The best. But I like Jaden Dan.
mhm,
I wish he would have threw at the combine.
yeah.
I wish he
I
would have
mean,
thrown at the combine.
he can make some throws. I mean, I get it. You know how that works with going to do your pro day because you can set it up in an environment that you're comfortable in, with the
Mm-hmm.
receivers you're comfortable with, and running the routes you're comfortable throwing. I necessarily don't honestly think Daniels can make every throw. And that's just based off of what he was asked to. I know he can make the deep shots. He has
Mm-hmm.
talented wide receivers, So, but I didn't see a lot of the necessarily over the middle or a lot of them out routes. The out routes that he needs to be able to put pinpointed on accuracy. I don't think he's
Gotcha.
necessarily there. And then there's some other things he can run. We know that. But Daniels makes some bonehead moves when he runs. He's gonna have to get taught to get out of bounds. Because I didn't seen him a few times get destroyed on a certain couple of plays, trying to run the ball and trying to take on DBs and safeties and linebackers at times. I mean, he done left his feet two years in a row against FSU. He didn't got hit good. I think the Alabama game he got knocked out one good time, but
And
I
he,
think that was in the
I'm about to say
pocket
he
though.
lightened the tail too. He lightened the
Yeah,
tail.
yeah, because I think he's 6'3". He is a legit
Mm-hmm.
6'3", maybe, but he's probably they say they got him up to about 210, but I don't know. His
He a
frame can probably
frail.
carry. Yeah,
It's a frail 210 if he's 210.
yeah.
He just look
I
real
think
thin.
I think his frame can carry at least another 8 pounds. You know, get him up about 218, close to 220. I think he can play at that. He
Yeah.
may lose a little burst, but I mean, even at quarterback, even with that little bit lost burst, he'll still be effective as a runner because we're not asking him to run for 2,000 yards or 1,000 yards. So,
Right.
but he just needs to realize he don't need to play as reckless as he played sometimes in college. That's what I'm saying. He gets a little loose and reckless at times. But as far as going back to Penix, as far as a pure passing standpoint, there's no other quarterback but May that I think can make
Yeah.
the throws. Caleb is third in that category, and then you put Daniels.
And
And then
I definitely think. Go ahead, bro.
go ahead. Oh no, I was just saying. Then you say McCarthy. McCarthy's the enigma.
Yeah.
Because I
But
mean,
what I was just about to touch on him.
yeah, go ahead.
That's what I was gonna say. I definitely can see. Obviously, for the Patriots, I took Marvin Harrison because we're not doing any trades.
Yeah.
That's the place, especially if it fell this way, that I could see the Vikings come up to get Jaden Daniels. But I could see the Patriots be willing to trade back, get them a game manager style quarterback like McCarthy to learn under Jacoby Brissett, pick up an additional first round pick, and get you a weapon later on. But since we did no trades, I'm cool with letting Jacoby Brissett ride it out and giving him a player like Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay, I got you. Well, you got anything else you want to touch on? We locked
No,
in
that's
for our
it, man.
first game.
That's it.
All right.
We're gonna touch on Russ and Justin Fields, the Steelers, later on.
Yeah, we're gonna tune
So
into that Friday episode for that one. We're gonna let that one loose. But that being said, we like to thank everyone who watched. I know y'all probably
appreciate
scratch
it.
our head on some of these picks, but remember it's just a mock draft, and the reasoning we put behind it was some of the things we know because we didn't include trades. Make sure to
Right.
like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all tap in with my guy Davion's D's Corners show. You want to get more specific, more in-depth, detailed look into the NFL free agency, go check him out. Make sure y'all tune in with me. I got no nonsense, and I got D's future recruit talk coming down the pipe. We thank y'all. We appreciate you, and peace out.
Thank y'all.